All right, guys. So one consistent theme with a lot of my clients who are struggling with their family and eventually that struggle led to an estrangement is how when a lot of the family dynamics that were happening within the family that led to the estrangement, they all happened behind closed doors. There was no one there to bear witness to what was happening, and there was also no one there who had my clients' backs. There was no one there to advocate for them, to their perspective, their feelings, their value, anything. And often my clients are just left to deal with all of this stuff on their own, and then eventually they often reach a point where they choose estrangement or they themselves have been kicked out. But because there was no one there to bear witness, they feel incredibly alone, very isolated, but also they distrust themselves because there isn't anybody there to could validate their experiences and to reaffirm what happened the way they perceived it to happen, and also reaffirm their worth and their right to stand up for themselves. Sorry, the camera's moving here a small bit. But the problem then is that can often extend to their lives and their relationships away from family, where they're trying to explain to people what happened, and all they're really asking for is to be believed. Is that, and in terms of what happened, but also the scale of impact that it's having on them. And again, sometimes many of my clients struggle to find advocates in the world away from family as well, because people without any kind of emotional context or any personal experience to frame an understanding of my client's reality, then my clients are left feeling alone and isolated in the world away from family as well. And it just becomes this pervasive sense of isolation, of rejection, of being excluded as well, which is a common theme often. If someone feels I've had experiences of being excluded within the family, those experiences extend past that into other areas of life, where they walk around with this permanent feeling of exclusion, of not belonging to a group. And it's very difficult, and it's particularly for people who are surrounded by love. They're surrounded by people who do really care about them, but those same people can't quite grasp what's happening or what has happened in the past, and how the impact of family issues, including abuse, although it's not always abuse. There's a whole range of reasons why people become estranged, how pervasive those experiences are, and how they do contaminate our adult lives now and have long-lasting impact on people's lives going forward. And it really prevents people from growing and creating secure attachments in their adult life, either now or going forward in the future. And often therapy acts, our job is to advocate for our clients within the context of therapy, within that space, in that room. We obviously I don't interfere with my clients' lives outside of the therapy room. I don't interject or inject myself in the family issues. That to me would be completely inappropriate and unethical, to be quite honest with you. My role in this is to be there for my clients, to say, yeah, I get what they're going through and I understand it, and I believe them, and particularly because I know how big it is for them to share this stuff, because very often they don't share it because they're afraid of a negative reaction, or in some cases they've had negative reactions before. And it's one of the reasons why I started doing these support clinics, because it's a great opportunity for other people to listen to other estranged people's stories, and it has this incredibly grounding effect. They realize, well, it's not just them, there's others who have these same experiences, and they also feel isolated, they also feel alone, and they also fear that maybe others won't believe them. But it has this really powerful normalizing effect as well, because they realize that this type of issues are much more common than people realize. And even if you read research, it talks about the prevalence of estrangement. One study says 1 in 5 people, and that 1 in 5 families in the UK are affected. A US study said 1 in 4 individuals are affected by estrangement. Estrangement affects a great number of people. But again, because of the closed door nature of these family problems, and also the stigma surrounding it, a lot of people feel like it's just them. Nobody else could possibly going through this. No other person's family could possibly be as dysfunctional as theirs. And just having this opportunity to talk about it and share their experiences and have them heard and have them validated, it's very powerful and really has a positive effect on them and on their psychology and their ability to relate to others outside of the estrangement support clinic. So I just wanted to talk about that, the importance of advocacy, and for people to ask themselves who really has their back. And unfortunately, some people feel like they don't have anybody in their corner. Someone don't have the back. That doesn't mean that there isn't people out there who don't understand, and there is. Just sometimes it does take a leap of faith to reach out and to share with somebody. That's it. As I said in the last video, the next support clinic is happening Thursday the 25th of January, which is next week, because today is Saturday. It's open to everybody. Everybody's welcome. The feedback from the last session was great, really positive. Spaces will be limited. There'll be a link somewhere in my bio, so check it out, and I'd love to see you there. If not, mind yourselves, guys. You're not on your own. There's lots of people struggling with their family. You are far from on your own, and please believe that, and please take care of yourselves.